Terence, you've already beaten 3 Brits, and David Avenisian is almost, even though he's Russian Armenian, he's kind of like an adopted Brit. He's fought over here for so long. People are underestimating him, I think, against you. He's a very rugged fighter, a very tough guy, and very determined, and from that part of the world that does produce very tough people. What do you have to do against him to retain your belt?
I just got to be myself and go in there and don't, get caught up in, fighting a fight that is not suitable for me.
So as ever, the same strategy. You're just going in the office and you just
Yeah.
work it out when you get there. But you must have studied him a little.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
You know, he can be wild. He relies on this, which you probably want to test.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I look at David as, one of them rough barbarian fighters with some skills. See, a lot of people they don't see the little details, that us high quality fighters see in another fighter. I see the little counter shots that he do. I see the keeping up his hands and the feints and the stepping forward, stepping back. So I see the little tricks that he do and the little traps that he set up and stuff like that. And that what makes for a great fighter.
Are you expecting to win every round?
Now I'm expecting to win a fight.
Okay,
I'm
that's
expecting to
good
win a
enough for
fight.
me. A burning question for me that I've always wanted to ask you, and I'll come on to the obvious questions in a minute, is would you have loved to have been around in the Pacquiao and Mayweather era so you'd fought both of them as well?
Of course, 100%.
So what happens? You step into the ring with Pacquiao, what's the outcome?
If I would have stepped in the ring with Pacquiao, I feel like that would have been a fight where, I would have had to use, so many tools because of him, coming in at different angles and,
Yeah.
the punch power, the speed, I would have had to, pop shot him and, get used to his speed and, his movement and calibrate him, but at the same time, stay out of harm's way.
Those big, heavy, short-handed flurries. Yeah.
Right, right,
And
right.
would you have fought him southpaw most of the time, do you think? That's what I always picture in my mind, that you start southpaw against him.
I don't know. I don't know because Pacquiao fairly short and his arms is shorter. So, I felt like I could have fought him both ways, being that I had the height, the reach, and I got some speed of my own. So, you know, I felt like I could have did real well with him.
What about Floyd Mayweather then? He's still boxing. He beat up a YouTuber last Sunday. Got a little bit fed up and decided to stop him. What about you and Mayweather? Surely
I
that
think,
is one of their ultimate boxing matches.
yeah, I think, me versus Mayweather, that would have been a fight of, who makes the uh the right moves at the right point of time. I think it'll be 1 second window for each fighter. It'd have been a boxing match. It'd have been a chess match.
Proper
I
chess
feel like,
match.
I feel
Proper
like,
chess match.
yeah, I feel like, that fight, it wouldn't have been, a fight where you see two fighters, going in there trying to, you know, knock each other out because we both is tremendous counter punchers. He may got the edge on the defense, but I feel like I got the edge on the punch power. So it'd have been a good fight.
Are you going to be around long enough to go 50-0 yourself?
I don't think so.
No, no.
I don't think so.
So it's 2 fights a year. That's 6 more years. That's not you, no.
Nah, not at all. Just
One,
being honest.
yeah.
Just being honest.
No, no, I get it. I mean, you know, it's a long time, you know, it's a long time to go. And we forget how long you've been at it as well, you know, and that the body knows, doesn't it? The mind knows, the family knows.
Right.
um, um, I always say if I'm on my radio shows or I'm out and about, God, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence should be on their trilogy fight right now. That's what I always feel. And I did watch your long lament, your long discourse the other day saying, this is what I did. I tried this. I've tried this. I've tried this. Do you think, obviously you have to beat David Avenisian, but do you think it is going to get over the line?
Well, that's one thing that we hope for, but nobody knows, the future. So, only thing we can do is continue to do what we've been doing, and that's taking one fight at a time, winning, going back to the drawing board, try to get the fight signed and sealed, and if not, then we got to move on. We can't sit around and wait and see what everybody else is going to do.
What's frustrating from the outside looking in is that, and you've pulled me up on this before when I've said about crossing over into true main. I know you're always yourself. I know you. Yeah, I do know you in that way. But that I just got a feeling 1, 2, or 3 fights with Errol Spence, and both of your names are going to be even bigger, like on a mushroom cloud. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
You know? And
Definitely.
it's frustrating. It must be frustrating for you.
Yeah, I think it's more frustration. It's more frustrating to me is because of the amount of years that, I chased the Pacquiao the same way that, I'm trying to secure the Errol Spence fight.
Yeah.
And I felt like I wasted a lot of my years being promised a Manny Pacquiao fight, and it never was, delivered to me. And then moving up in weight and calling out all the top welterweights in the division, and only being able to fight, a few of them at the time that I fought them. But at the same time, it's kind of like the same story.
Because the weird thing is, when you look at the resumes of yourself and Errol Spence, for example, you are both clearly each other's defining fight, you know?
Sure.
I mean, there are others around. Keith Thurman's still around. Yaron Ennis is there. Virgil Ortiz, even Conor Benn. There's some fantastic fights for you in the division, even if you'd never fight Errol Spence.
For sure. For sure. Those are great fights as well.
Did you have a radar across what was happening with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank a few weeks back?
No, I actually didn't. I was excited to see the fight. I felt like Chris Eubank, he was, taking a huge, disadvantage against him. But
with the weight cut to 57, you mean?
With the weight cut, and then the rehydration clause and everything that surrounded it, and he agreed to it all. So that just basically showed, the level of confidence that he had within himself, and for him to, be on the right path and do everything that he posted and did to, secure that fight, and for kind of being the, pop the steroids and stuff like that. It's a bummer for him.
Could you have envisaged yourself if someone else had popped for something, no matter how small it was or whatever? Could you have seen yourself carrying on in the fight, or do you think it should?
No. It definitely should have been pulled because it's not right. You cheating. I feel like,
Terence, even if it's a mistake, it needs to be proved it's a mistake, a contaminant, doesn't it?
I don't see how people can say having steroids, in their body is a mistake. I don't understand that. I don't see where a mistake would either be, it will happen at, you got steroids in your body, you got banned substance in your body. So if you eating and taking regular vitamins, there's no way that, things like this can happen.
Mm.
And I'm 100% sure that these people that, pop positive, they aware of what they taking and putting in their body, because, if your nutritionist or your coach or anybody, your doctor, they give you some pills and say, here, take these, you're gonna ask them, the first thing you're gonna say is, what's this? You know, that's the first thing you're gonna say. What's
Doesn't
this?
matter how close they are to you, yeah? Doesn't matter how,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're gonna say, what's this? And what's this for? You're gonna want to know. You're not just about to just put anything in your body and not ask any questions.
Mm. Um, Finally, Robert Garcia reckons that Virgil Ortiz could be your biggest problem in the whole of the welterweight division. Do you understand where he's coming from on that, or do you think he's just trying to get a soundbite there, a headline?
Well, I think he's saying that because Virgil is young, he's strong, he's punch hard, he's determined,
He's
he's
unbeaten, he's
skillful.
knocking everyone out.
Yeah, he's skillful. So, you know, he's been around boxing for a number of odd years, and you know, that's what he believes in.
Mm.
He see a young kid that's, strong, determined, that got a chin, that can dish it, can take it. That's just how you feel.
Um,
And as a coach,
yeah,
you're supposed to feel that way
yeah,
about your
yeah,
fighter.
yeah. Finally, obviously you've got David Avenisian coming up, but can you just assure us that there are still talks going on in the background with Errol Spence potentially for next year? Because that's the last we saw of it.
Well, no, there's no talks right now,
No.
but hopefully, after my fight and after his fight, we can pick back up and, revisit the conversations that we once had, in the past.
And have you, since I spoke to you last, and it is quite a few months, are you any different in the way that you are reading about philosophy of fighting or your diet or different things in training? Have you made changes? You're always very chilled out. I mean, you're more chilled out than normal tonight. I've already had a tequila, so I don't know why you're more chilled than me.
Oh,
Um,
no, 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 no. My thing is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah.
So, what I mean, we still on the same routine, train hard, and everything else is going to play itself out.
There was one other little question. I've nailed my colours to the mast that in a couple of years' time, Shakur Stevenson will be number one pound for pound for pound. What do you think of that view?
For sure. 100% factual.
When you spar with him, is he so clever?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. He's been that way since he was a little kid. And, once, he have the opportunity to show the world, then everybody's going to see what I've been seeing for years.
So when you go after him, when you're sparring with him, and you think, right, I want to teach him a lesson now. Yeah, are you hitting thin air?
Nah, nah. We know each other.
Yeah.
It's like, we've been sparred so many times. So we both know what each other are going to do when we're going to do it. So, that's just it with me and him.
I think it's brilliant that you and him spar together. God, I pay money to watch that spar.
Oh, yeah.
I bet it's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
I bet the whole gym stops sometimes, no?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Thank you very much. Best of luck in your fight defending your WBO welterweight title, Terence. It's always great to see you. You're one of our great sporting ambassadors as well. Thanks so much for your time, as always.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.